Good evening, everyone. This is Scotty Sanders. Welcome to my Facebook Live. So I just got back to Dallas not too long ago. My son and I spent a few days in New Orleans. We flew from Dallas, Fort Worth to New Orleans to be there for the NFC championship game. And it was just incredible. Unfortunately, my team, the Saints, got beat on an unfortunate call, no complaining. But it was an incredible experience that he and I had together. So it was more about being with him and the time we had together than the game itself. But we had a tremendous time. But I find myself, my ears are still ringing from the excitement of the game, and people are just screaming. I mean, for about 3+ hours, people loud at like 105 to 120 decibels. It was just it was an incredible, energetic, exciting environment for sure. So we just got back just a couple hours ago. So I'm glad I could join you. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I will be talking to you about, based on a book that I read a number of years ago called The Fred Factor. And it's talking about how you can live an extraordinary life and learning 4 basic principles. And I can tell you, when I read this book years ago, it made a big difference to me. And I got to know the author of this book, and he's become somewhat of a friend of mine. His name is Mark Sanborn, but he wrote a book called The Fred Factor, and it's based on a true story about a postman named Fred and how he took something extremely, can you imagine what a postman does every day? Extremely mundane, and turning it into something that he did in an extraordinary way that made a tremendous difference in people's lives. So I think there's a lot we can learn. In fact, I'd encourage you to pick up a copy of The Fred Factor. It's an excellent book, and it's only 115 pages long, so it's something you can read really in about 2 to 3 hours, but some great principles in there. So I'm going to share maybe a few of the key things and put my little touch on it, and hopefully this will help you. So I want to walk you through these 4 principles that will help you to live an extraordinary life. But I want just to remind you a little bit about why that's important to me. So some of you know that I'm an international leadership consultant, so I get to work with leaders all over the world. In fact, this week I'll be working with a leader that I've been involved with for about 6 months now. He's in Africa, and so we'll be having a coaching session. He'll be in Africa, I'll be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In a couple of weeks, I'll be meeting with a leader from Europe that I've worked with off and on for about 8 or 9 years. So he'll be coming in, and he and I will spend some time together. And then sometime in February, I'll be having a coaching session with a strategic leader in Asia. So that's what I love getting to do, is really pour into people, pour into leaders. See, my purpose in life is to encourage and to empower others to live, lead, and finish well. And one of the things that helps me to fulfill my purpose is through a nonprofit called Quest of the Keys. And some of you heard me talk a little bit about that. But it's a character education nonprofit, and its vision is to empower 1 million of the next generation to discover their purpose, unlock their potential, and live with passion. And that is done by providing relevant, innovative, creative character education resources. So we've got this vision for 1 million students, and we are on our way. We've empowered thousands. And if you want to learn more about Quest of the Keys and how might you be a part or support that, go to questofthekeys.com and get more information. And you can also go to Amazon and order a copy of the book. That's kind of the foundational piece, in addition to all the other resources that we provide. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and dive in to these 4 principles that will help you to lead an extraordinary life. So let's talk about the first one. And so I'll call these the Fred Factor principles. And here's the first one. Everyone can make a difference. All right, let me say that again and say it slow. Everyone can make a difference. That's you and that's me. No matter your circumstances, you can make a difference. You can make a difference in a person's life. You can make a difference in the world. Our theme behind Quest of the Keys is being a world changer. I believe what we do with Quest of the Keys, we are world changers. We're changing young people's worlds. You can change people's world. You can change the world by changing your own world and how you look at things and how you live your life. And here's the thing. No one can prevent you from living an exceptional life. Well, with one exception, you. You're the only exception to keep you from living an exceptional life. It's you. It's up to you. You may say you have limited resources, you have limited time, you have limited abilities. Listen, Fred the postman lived an exceptional life. He probably had some limitations himself, but he didn't let that hold him back. Here's a second one. Another Fred factor principle is this: success is built on relationships. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. My dad is 84 years old, and he's lived that out. He's been in the insurance sales business for many, many years, and it's all about relationships for him. So where you work, how you treat your other fellow employees with dignity and respect, the quality of the relationship will dictate the quality of work many times. And also remember, if you have customers that you work with, that you treat them with care. Don't make it transactional, make it relational. Make it more about them and how you can help them than it is about you getting some type of commission or helping your company. Always put the customer first in that regard. So treat the people you work with dignity and respect. You'll see the quality of work go up. And treat your customers in a relational way, not transactional way. So that's the second one. Again, it is success is built on relationships, the people you work with and your customers or your constituency. So here's the third one. You must continually create value for others. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to cost you a penny. Sometimes we think, well, I just can't afford to do that. Most of the things we do, it doesn't cost any money. Just how we're grateful to people, how we go out of our way to help people. You can add value by just being a better servant to other people, listening better, asking questions, finding ways that you can help people, helping people through your network, introducing people to people that you know. Those are ways that you can add value to people. It doesn't cost you anything. It may cost you a little bit of time. I'm telling you, it's so easy to add value if that's your mindset, that you want to be a value adder versus always receiving from others. Continually create value for others, and it doesn't have to cost you anything. Replace money for your imagination. Get creative. Look for ways that you can be creative to add value. Now, let me share one quick story that happens to involve my organization and someone on my team. So I'm not bragging about me, but I'm bragging about a team member. A couple of months I was speaking at a middle school, and so one of the things I do as part of our, we call it the Quest of the Keys experience when we go into schools, and this incredible time that we get to have with these students. But we give a lot of what we call premium gifts away, and one of the gifts that we give is a poster of the main character of the story. His name is Declan, so it's signed, it's by an actor, and it's really, really cool. Students love it, okay? So, but when we do the trivia questions, I get one of the teachers or principals to ask students when they raise their hand to answer the question, let them call on that I don't have to be the bad guy, okay? This one particular school a couple of months ago, when I asked this question, you know, the teacher pointed out a student, and two of them thought they had pointed at them. So the young lady jumped in and answered it first, and she got the answer right. So she got the poster, but there's a young boy named Matthew that raised his hand, and he was so disappointed that he couldn't answer the question, and he was upset. But I didn't realize what was happening. But so later on that afternoon, probably an hour after school, one of our team members, Jenny, gets a phone call from the parent of Matthew. Somehow she found Jenny's number and contacted her and said her son Matthew was so disappointed and would do anything to get the poster. The parent said, I'll pay whatever, I'll do whatever I have to. My son has got to have a sign, he's got to have a poster of Declan. So Jenny goes out of her way and said, listen, let me get back with you on that. So she goes and gets a poster, comes by my home, gets me to personally sign it with a note to Matthew, and hand delivers it to Matthew and the mom, okay? Now, let me add one other little piece. The Jenny in that story and the team member is my daughter, Jenny. So that's an example. It really didn't cost anything extra. We had the poster. We had ink and a pen. I certainly had time to sign it. She took a little time, a little effort and went above to add value to this young boy named Matthew, and he was thrilled to death. We have opportunities like that really all the time if we'll just seize those opportunities. So that's the third thing. Look for, you must look continually for ways to add value to others. And you don't have to spend money to do that. And here's the fourth one, and I'll kind of end on this one, all right? The fourth one is you can reinvent yourself regularly. Don't get yourself in this rut that you never get out of. This is just the mundane. You always do things a certain way. And I have to watch that a little bit with myself because I guess people call me disciplined, very scheduled type person. So I'm always looking at ways that I can reinvent myself. Writing a fantasy fiction book was a way to reinvent myself, if you will. Okay, that's a for example. But look for ways to get out of the rut, do things different, be creative, get out of the rut, find ways to wow people. When my daughter Jenny did this, she wowed this young man beyond just mailing them a poster and sending them a bill. We didn't charge him anything, but she hand delivered a signed poster from the author. That's an example of providing a wow. See, you can make your life anything you choose it to be. It's up to you. You can say, well, listen, I don't get to do, neat and fun things or work with someone in Africa. Why not? Why can't you? Nothing's holding you back except yourself. It's just a choice. Now, listen, you don't get there overnight. I didn't get to the place where I got to coach higher level leaders or lead a couple nonprofits. Overnight, I worked at that. I kept reinventing myself. And listen, you can take these 4 principles we learned from the postman Fred and start applying those to your life, and you'll start living an extraordinary life. If Fred the postman can do it, so can you. Let me just get you to think about this. Which one of these 4 do you need to work on the most? Think about that. Which one of these 4 do you need to work on the most? We can improve in all of them, but which one and I really need to work on number 2 or number 3, whatever it may be. Think about that. So again, I hope this has helped you tonight. And if it has, I would really ask you to share this with others and pass this message along. Listen, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I hope to see you next week. I'm going to keep leading well till then. I hope you will too. Take care.